Hello, class. For today's lesson is about solving and interpreting real-world problems involving inverse variation. And here are the learning targets. I can solve problems that involve inverse variation, and I can interpret the meaning of the solution in real-life situations. Before we solve problems, let us first recall the concept of inverse variation. As y goes up, the value of x goes down, which means that if the value of y goes down, that means the value of x goes up. For our first problem, the time t required to paint a wall varies inversely as the number of painters p. If 4 painters can finish the wall in 6 hours, how long will it take 8 painters to finish the same wall? So, based on this, we are already given the variable that we're going to use, which is t and p for painters. For t, we have 6 hours, and for p, we have 4 painters. Now, based on the situation here, let us write it first. T is 6 and P is 4. So based on this, we need to find K first before proceeding to the next part of the problem. Now, we need to identify first on which one is the dependent and independent. Now, of course, the time would be dependent here. The time or T would be dependent on how many painters there are to finish painting the wall. So that means T here is our dependent, and the number of painters is our independent. Independent. So we could write it like this. T equals K over P, or T varies inversely as P, or T is inversely proportional to P. So based on this, we can now solve the given problem. So for T, we have 6 equals K over 4. So again, cross multiplication of 6 and 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. And this is the value of our constant. But we are not done yet because again, we still need to have, or we still need to find the how long here, the second part of the problem. So we're looking for the time. So again, let's write the given. For K, we have 24. For P, we have new 8 painters based on this. 8 painters. And we are looking for the new time. Again, based on our problem, whether we solve it or not, since there are 8 painters now, we can expect that the time would be less than 6. So again, concept of variation and inverse variation. So let's write it this way. So we have here T equals 24. This is our K over the new P, which is 8. So 24 divided by 8 is 3. That means it would take 3 hours for 8 painters to finish painting the wall. So this is our answer. So see, base here 6 hours. So 6 hours in which it took 4 painters, and for this one it took 8 painters to cover for 3 hours. So if you are going to have this in a table of values, you could have x, y. We have 3 hours. We have 4 painters, and 8 painters. For this one, if we have 4 painters, it will take 6 hours. And if there are 8 painters, it will take 3 hours. And that's it. Again, our answer is 3 hours for having 8 painters. For next problem, we have the time t it takes to travel a fixed distance varies inversely as a speed s. If a car travels at 60 kilometers per hour and reaches its destination in 5 hours, how long will it take if it travels at 75 kilometers per hour? So here we are already given with the time or the variable t here, sorry, t for 5 hours, and also for speed s for 60 kilometers per hour. Again, let us first write here, so t is equal to 5 hours and s for 60 kilometers per hour. First, let us remember that the time is dependent to speed on how fast or how slow a car travels. So basically, t is our dependent here, and the speed is our independent variable. Now this time, let us try to find k. But again, don't forget the form of inverse variation. So we have here using the variables instead of y and x. So we have here t equals k over s, or t varies inversely as s. Now the value of t is 5 and k over 60. So cross multiplication of 5 and 60, we have 300. And this is the value of our constant. Now, in the second part of our problem, so we have here how long will it take if it travels 75 kilometers per hour. So base here, we are looking for the time. And we are given the rate of the speed, which is 75 kilometers per hour. So rewriting it here, so we have k for 300. And by the way, k here, or the constant, is our given distance, because if we have the original formula, when we talk about time, distance, and speed, it would look like this. Time equals distance over speed. Anyway, going back to the real deal. So t here for the second part is missing, and s is 75 kilometers per hour. As you can observe here, the new speed or rate is 75 kilometers and the original is 60, which means that we can expect that the time traveled on the second part will be shorter compared to the first part. Because again, this one here is faster compared to 60. Anyway, let us continue solving. So we have t, which is missing, then 300 divided by 75. And 300 divided by 75 is 4 hours. So it's 4. So if we are going to write it, so it will take 4 hours at a speed of 4 hours for 75, or at the speed of 75 kilometers per hour. So that's it. So it is now faster comes to speed and shorter when it comes to time. For our third problem, we have the pressure P of a gas varies inversely at its volume V. If the pressure is 150 kilopascal when the volume is 24 liters, what is the volume when the pressure increases to 200 kilopascal? Now, again, we are given with the variables already. We have here P for 150 kilopascal, and then V for the volume, we have 24 liters. Now, let us rewrite or write the given here. We have P equals 150 kilopascal and V for 24 liters. Now, obviously, we are given already on the situation that P is varies inversely as to its volume. So that means P here, the pressure, is our dependent variable as to how many liters are there. So this one here is the independent variable. Now, rewriting this, we have P equals K over V, or P varies inversely as V. Now, we have the values of P and V. So 150 equals K over 24. And 150 times 24 is 3,600. So this is our constant. Now, looking at the second part of our problem, so what's the volume? So it is looking for our V this time, given that we have the value of our pressure, which is 200 kilopascal. So here. Okay, so K is 3,600, P is 200, and V is missing. So if we're gonna write it, so we have here 200 equals 3,600 over V. So all you need to do is to cross multiply. So we have 200 V equals 3,600. So divide both sides by 200 to have the coefficient of V as positive 1 only. So divide both sides by 200. Now cancel both sides. So in other ways, so we could just, based on this now, we could write this V equals 3,600 over 200. So based on this, you could just interchange the value of our dependent and independent variable if you are looking for the independent one. So yeah, that's it. So anyway, so based on the two, again, they're just the same. They're just equivalent, so equivalentable. So V, so 3,600 divided by 200 is 18. So the volume is 18. So it would take 18 liters to have the pressure of 200 kilopascal. Last problem for today's discussion, we have the amount of fuel cost per person F for a road trip varies inversely as the number of people N sharing the car. If each person pays 750 pesos when there are 6 people, how many people must share the ride so that each person pays 500 pesos? So based here, are given the variables already. We have F for 750 pesos, the fuel cost, and for the number of people N here, there are 6. Now, based on the second part of the problem, how many people must share the ride so that each only pays 500? So without solving it, we can conclude that it will take more than 6 people to share the ride so that each of them only pays 500. Now, based here, based on the situation given, so obviously for F, this is the dependent variable, and for N is the independent one. So again, for F, we have 750, and for N, we have 6 people. force we need to find. Okay, so as we write it, we have F equals K over N, where F varies inversely as N. So the value of F is 750 equals K over 6. Now cross multiplying the two, so you have 750 times 6 is 4,500. And this is our constant. Now, in the second part of the problem, again, how many people must share the ride so that each only pays 500. So we are looking for the number of people, or n, and we now have a new value of f, which is 500 pesos. So again, we have for k, which is 4,500, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. N is missing, and and the value for the fuel cost is 500 pesos. So F is 500. So if we write it this way, so 500 equals 4,500 over N. So if you want to do the direct thing, so you could just interchange 500 and N to their positions. So we can have N equals 4,500 divided by 500. And based on this, 4,500 divided by 500 is equal to 9. That means there would be 9 people. It takes 9 people to share the ride. Okay, 9 people sharing the ride. In order to pay 500 pesos for the fuel cost. And that's it for today, and I hope you learned something.